Good morning and welcome back to my studio. This is part 2 of in progress video on a mosaic titled I Heard the Mountains Sing. Last in part 1 I talked about I had these main pieces in, and I think that might be all, and I said I was going to do some work in Procreate, which I did a little, but not as much as I thought I would. I did enough to define these sections, these graceful, curvy sections, which I just call layers, and I've got a series of mosaics titled Layers, which are done in this similar format, mostly stone, a little bit of smalty, maybe a little gold, and mineral specimens. So that's what this, I decided to just go for it and just have this be a layers piece. The thing about this, though, when I work this way, I feel the need to be very precise. And I've had struggles with precision in the past where it had gotten pretty obsessive and not really fun at all. So I decided, well, let's see if I've made any progress on that personal struggle. The last piece I did, it's a large red piece called Familial Wounds, and I intentionally tried to let go of some of that precision, and although I could probably get more loose, I felt like overall I did an okay job of letting go of it a little bit and still being happy with the work. So I hesitated before deciding to do another layers piece because I know that I think this style is best when I use a lot of precision, which also requires a grinder, to use a grinder for a lot of work, and I will show you what I mean. So the only thing I did in Procreate was work out my layers, and I decided I wanted to use some white bumpy gold in these areas here to accentuate the flow upwards. I really wanted this kind of upward feeling, and I thought that bumpy gold would help support that. So that's all I did in Procreate. Now let's look at what I've gotten done, which is actually quite a bit. I've got it sideways on my table because it's really an awkward shape. Let's see, what is this? I think this is about 12 by 30, something like that. So let's see. So this layers requires it relies heavily on stone and other minerals. And I do like to use a little bit of glass. I think it varies the surface texture and reflection nicely. So I got started, as you can see, and I'm going to be using grays and beiges primarily, but I'd like to get a little lighter as I go, so kind of hard for me to get this all when it's sideways like this. But so I started with this material here, which is I think it's called Rosso Francia, and it was kind of pinky, as you can see, kind of gray and pink, but I thought that worked okay with the amethyst. And then this was almost all I had. So I did order some more, but wouldn't you know it, unless I got the wrong marble, it came, it was a little bit different because it's been a couple of years since I ordered it. And that would be this one up here, which you can see it's more of a reddish orange than a pink. But I decided to use it anyway, and I think it'll work. The thing I like about this layers style, it's pretty spontaneous. Once you kind of define your layers, then you work spontaneously within them as far as materials, how you alter the layers, or at least that's how I do it, and it's kind of fun that way. So I just have a big selection of grays. I don't really have the beiges out yet. I wasn't going to use beige at first, but I thought I needed to kind of get a little bit of contrast in there. I like using some pyrite. which I did in this little area at the bottom. And I've got some more up there. Let me talk about the precision thing. First of all, there's the bones of it, let's say. Defining those layers. I use this unglazed porcelain, it's Lyric, cut in half, and then I chip it away, and so it's laid on its side, but it's very difficult to get like that. You see that triangle that's in there? Well, two of them. I can't cut Lyric that way, so I have to use a grinder. And so I knew I'd need to use it for this porcelain. Also these kind of angles on the edge. And I really I just like this precise. And let's look at, like here. I can't cut marble like that, but I can grind it like that. And I think it's necessary to, for the overall look that I want for this, which, let's look at another one. Now here I've got these 2 rows of this gray marble, but I bring it to a very graceful end there, but that's by using the grinder. So I rely on the grinder a lot. I've got to nut some more of those. You can see I'm breaking the rules about 1 into 2. And I give myself the liberty to break those rules. There's some more. That's those are really difficult cuts. These are very difficult cuts, and you really can't, well, maybe some people can. I can't cut marble that thin. Well, it starts to crumble, but you can very carefully grind it. And I think that in and of itself, that precision, those very graceful cuts really adds to the close-up viewing of these mosaics. So triangles don't stand out and call attention to themselves. And I like that. I kind of like to allow myself to break the rules there and to rely on some technical skill and determination and perseverance to get really nice, smooth cuts that you really can't get with a hammer or hand tools. So I do rely on the grinder a lot, and it can turn pretty obsessive. And I'm pleased to say that it has not yet, that I'm thoroughly enjoying just working this way. As you can see here, I've used this really pretty vitreous tile I ordered years ago. I don't even know if it's available anymore. And I'm using it whole. Again, maybe breaking the rules. And I did that here. I didn't do the 2 into 1, and so I've got this very thin taper. Where am I? There I am, tapering off. But I think those lines really add to it. And I think the tile is so pretty, I didn't want to cut it up. I wanted to use it whole. So maybe a little more kind of rule breaking. So I hesitated this long to do the second part because, well, sometimes I have doubts that things are going to work. But I'm really happy with how this is coming along. I should have put it up on the easel for you to see, and maybe I'll do that next time. So as I said, I'm going to get lighter as I go up into these areas, a little bit lighter, just lighter beiges and lighter grays. I don't know if I'll get into a white or not, but we'll see. It's pretty spontaneous. So I'm almost, well, I'm not quite halfway finished, and I'm just really having fun with this. I think I'll be happy with it, and really that's all that counts, right? So, if you have any questions, let me know. Trying to think of any little tricks or difficulties. When using a grinder, you can really deal with a lot of technical difficulties of getting around things. But a grinder may sound easy, but with stone especially, if you're using it on, you know, piece after piece after piece, it can get kind of hard on the hands. So I just pace myself. I want to enjoy it and I don't want to get crazy obsessive about it. But think about breaking rules. It's okay to break rules sometimes. I mean, I understand what the rules are, but I feel like I can break them on a piece like this. And that the breaking of the rules can be an asset. And that these really, you know, just really graceful cuts, to me, I can look at that and that adds interest. That adds interest to taper that down like that. To come down like this, to me that adds interest. Even though, yes, it breaks the rules. And this one too, I really like the way this one turned out. So, okay, this is part 2 of I Heard the Mountain Sing. Next time I'll try to put it up on the easel for you to look at. Thanks for joining me. Ciao.